Number one, use passphrases instead of passwords on your account. Evan, what does that mean?
Of course, you're asking me.
I can read what's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Passphrases as a broad idea is, there's a great comic about this actually from like 10 years ago from XKCD, which is you make up word associations. So the problem with passwords as a general concept is we all just think of something that's short and convenient because it's like we want something that's easy to type in, and we use the same thing everywhere. Don't do it. What you want to be doing is like, so the comic is you think of something that's related to the business in some way, something that it reminds you of, and then you just kind of do free word association from there and come up with a really long password.
Right.
So like horse staple gun.
Yeah.
You know, like it's long enough, and then you put a year after it or whatever.
Yeah.
And now you have a super secure password as opposed to something where it's like you just look at the keyboard and you go, well, I'll just type 8 keys in a row and then put a 1 after it. Which is like immediately breakable by any sort of automatic hacking thing.
Number two, use two-factor authentication. This adds a layer of security, making it more difficult for hackers to gain access to your account. It requires an additional login credential, such as a code sent via text or email. Tay, you and I were talking about this last week. I think you need this to log into your St. Thomas account.
Yeah, so we get every time we go to log in, we get a text message with another code in order to get into our account. So it's kind of annoying, but I understand why they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The article says it makes it harder for a hacker to gain access to your account. It makes it harder for anyone to gain access to your account, including you.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
the security is generally worth it.
It is. And it's pretty, if they text you the code and it's, it's pulled up on your phone, you just type it in. Yeah. I think that one is great. Number three, encrypt your devices. Data encryption hides your data so others with access to your computer won't be able to view it. Evan, do you have this? Do you have some encryption on your devices?
Yeah, and actually these days it's on by default in like Android settings and stuff.
Probably not iPhone settings though.
It actually, I think it is, but I mean, like in the last few years, it's just kind of become the default for new phones. But beyond that, if you work for a company that has any sort of managed IT, you have to grant a set of permissions when you connect to like an Outlook server or something like that, right? And like here at the radio station, if I want to have access to my work email offsite, I not only have to have my device encrypted, I have given the company permission to remote lock my device if I report it as stolen. Oh. Because obviously I'm not so much a journalist anymore.
Right.
But there are a lot of people in the building who very much are.
Yeah.
And so we have to protect sources and things like that.
Yeah.
Confidential information for any business is important. And you need the ability to remotely deactivate that device and make sure that the encryption happens. Because when the phone's on, it's not encrypted.
Right.
You have access to your stuff.
Yep.
The idea is as soon as that device is off and locked, no one can access the data.
Yeah. Keep devices and software up to date. When you receive an alert, be sure to update your device. So Macintosh, Windows, Android, Apple gives you make sure you're using the latest versions of that software. Make sure that they're up to date because those include updated security as well. Number 5 on the list is watch the apps that you download. Watch the apps that you download. Often when a smartphone gets hacked, the point of entry from hackers is an app from Google Play Store or Apple App Store. So make sure that you review and be cautious on the apps that you download. I mean, I think that's, whether it's your smartphone or your computer, always be cautious on what you're not only downloading, but you're clicking as well. Enable Find My Device for Windows, Android, and Apple devices to make sure that they can be found if they were ever stolen. Once you enable it, you can locate lost laptops, phones, and tablets. You know what they should make is a Find Your Child.
Yeah.
That would be a good one.
It exists.
It is.
I have good news. There's a couple ways to do this, but one that's starting to become popular is to just buy something like an AirTag or a Tile.
Yeah.
Stick it on your kid.
Just put it on.
Just put it on your kid. Stick it in their pocket and say, you never take this out of your pocket.
Yeah, sometimes I'm not saying, folks, I ever lose my children, but I'm just saying that it would be nice to always, be able to find them quickly.
Yeah. I think most parents are going to empathize with that sort of thing. It's not great to have your kids on a leash, but it would be kind of great to have your kids on a leash, right?
Set up an automatic backup of your data. Use an external hard drive to back up your files so you protect your business if data loss occurs, or you can do one remotely. I use, Carbonite, I believe is the service that I use. It updates.
It's a reputable company.
Is it?
Heard of them before?
That's good.
Yeah.
So it backs up everything that's on my computer. I started using that, I don't know, maybe 6-7 years ago. I had one of the agents in my office. His computer crashed. He lost everything, all of his Outlook, all of his data, and it was a catastrophic event for him. So definitely use a backup system. I think external hard drives are great, but sometimes you forget to do that.
Offsite backups are better.
Offsite backup automatically.
I'm a big fan of. There's another service called Backblaze. The thing I really like about them over some other data protection companies, and there are a lot of really good ones, is their policy is if you have a total loss event, right? So from my perspective as an insurance agent, if your house or business burns down, so it's not just like, oh, the computer stopped working. It's like the computer is gone. There is no hope of recovering the data because it's a burned, pile of melted plastic. You get, when you call the data recovery company, they send you a disk.
Oh.
You don't have to download it from the cloud server. They just mail you your data on a disk.
Yeah.
You put it into your machine and you copy it over to your new machine.
That's huge.
So you have to wait for the mail. But if you're in that type of catastrophic situation, waiting 2 days for a shipment of your data is not a big deal because you're not going to be up and running anyway.
Right.
Because everything burned down and you're taking a couple days off.
Number 8 is check if you've been hacked already. So there's some different sites out here. The one they're using is havelbenpwned.com. Check to see if you've been hacked already. And that happens. I mean, you may have been hacked and you don't even know about it. So there's ways to keep an eye on that as well.
Your browser, if you use Chrome or Firefox, it has a password manager built in. It'll let you know of websites that have had known breaches since the last time you updated your password in there. If you go into your passwords, very, very useful. And if you're the kind of person that doesn't do the thing we were talking about before and you do use the same password in a lot of places, if you get one of those notifications, you should change your password on every single site that uses that same password.
Change it.
Yeah. So I'm going to add a 9th tip here.
All right.
Don't let non-authorized users on work-related devices. And what that sounds really technical, means don't let your kids use your work computer. That is like the number one way that people get, stuff on their computer and things go awry, is you let a little kid on your computer and they do the things that you know better than to do, like click on the thing or download the app or whatever. And all of a sudden, if it's their little, like you've got your kid and they have their own iPad, it's not a big deal if their iPad, gets compromised or whatever. You just wipe the thing and start over.
Yep.
Not an option for your personal work data.
Right.
That's really bad. Seen it a lot of times. Don't do it. Get them their own cheapo little Fire tablet or something like that. Don't let them use your work devices. Don't do it.
I love it.